Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. This is the Similarly Opposites podcast. If you don't know, it's literally on the title, so you should know. I am Sakeenah.
And I'm Reza-Astrid.
And we're just two friends that chat, catch up on the week, talk about topical things, mostly inclined towards travel, and we are going to invite you into this conversation as always. So if you want to participate, please leave your comments down below because we love reading them and replying to them as well. And I'm going to say this now so I don't have to say it later, but if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. We promise we are fun in real life and maybe post-COVID actually hang out. So welcome. Hi Reza, how are you?
Hello. I'm doing really well. I'm a bit sweaty. I just came back from a quick dog walk and it's very, very hot here in Somerset West today. I think it's almost 30 degrees. It is spicy hot outside. So I'm sweating. How are you?
I'm good. Look at this curl.
Perfect.
Sorry for those of you who podcast. My hair's just like all over the place. If you're not watching this, I'm good. So today we had pajama day at school. So literally, the kids didn't even know, but the staff members wore pajamas, and I'm on morning duty because you have to like screen the kids and stuff, and let them come in. And now normally we all like very formally dressed, you know, shirt, chino, smart shoes, dresses, heels. And we're screening, and all the parents are like, why are you in your slippers? What is going on? It was the funniest thing because the kids had no idea. They found it funny. They found it hilarious. Like,
the parents did not know.
No one knew besides the staff.
Oh my word.
So I need to actually like brand those photos and upload those photos. But also quite funny. I was very comfortable. But then we had to change for like break time because we could get like visitors at the school.
Oh, okay.
But you know, some people didn't even change afterwards. They're like, whatever, so comfortable. This morning was quite cold. I sent you a photo of how cloudy it was, and I was wearing like my snuggie, so like a onesie blanket thing, but I was boiling because underneath that I did have pajamas on, but I didn't want to like just wear the pajamas and teach the pajamas. So I like came home because I live like close to school, and then I came home and I showered because I was a sweaty mess. And then I went to school and I had wet hair, so obviously it dried while I was teaching my last lesson. And so that was my day. It was quite fun, not gonna lie. It actually like boosted staff morale.
Nice.
Like we all just tired, and then we get to come to school in our pajamas and just kind of like make fun of each other, which is great.
So it's a bonus.
Yeah, it was quite nice. It was nice. I mean, distracted us for like a second, and then we cracked on with our lives. Yeah. Question. So what's the date?
Today's the 4th of November.
Today's the 4th of November. For those of you that live under a rock, it's the day of elections in America. Any thoughts, any opinions? Do you want to even share them on the internet?
I have been watching these elections for the past 24 hours. Like, I just keep refreshing my Google. It just says presidential elections, and I just refresh it just to look at the map. It is stressful. Like, it is actually stressful. Like, my heart is beating because just the fact that it's so close, like,
people are like very much, I don't know if it just, I've been mixing with the wrong people, but people are so invested in this election.
But it's because it's important. We need to be invested.
No, I know, but I'm saying compared to the other ones of the previous times. Like, they're so, like, my kids are asking, and they know facts. They're like, no facts. They're like, well, why would you vote for Biden? Why would you vote for Trump? Then you pull out my comparisons. Literally, that's how they were. And I was like, wow. I couldn't be asked before this.
I know, and I think it's like there is no perfect candidate. There's no perfect person to be president in any country. Everyone has their faults. I just think that some people's faults are way worse than other people.
But you're a lesser evil at this point, and I don't think
you are at this point. And I mean, 4 years ago, we were also trying to choose, or they were supposed to choose a lesser evil, and they chose the evil they chose. And the thing is, I just can't imagine world if Trump wins again. and I know it sounds dramatic, but because the decisions the US makes, unfortunately, does trickle down to everyone else and affects everyone else, it's a bit scary when you think of it in that way, that their decision, and some of them don't even realize, but their decision, like someone said on the radio yesterday, determines whether a lady in Africa will die or live. Like, it's that big of a deal. And yet people don't realize that when they vote, that you're actually choosing whether or not certain programs can continue in certain parts of the world, or if certain programs will get funding and will be able to still help people, feed people, give them sanitary pads, for example. I know that's something that we're very passionate about. So it's just, when you think of it in that way, then it's a bit jarring. And also for the fact that they said yesterday on the radio, or this morning, that if Biden wins, that means the dollar will go down. And I was like, hey, that's great, because if the dollar goes down, then it's cheaper for us to do a lot of things. But I don't know, like the decision that has already been made, in the sense that people have already voted, and now we just wait to see the result. But also they say that the results could come, because I mean, they're just waking up now in the US, so the results could come midday today, US time, but at the same time they might still be voting, I mean, they might still be counting and recounting up to the 8th of December, and then we could only like really know for sure. And also then today Trump said, oh, he's won, and it was a lie. Like, he hasn't won, because I haven't finished counting, but he says he's won, you know? And it's just like, you can't tell people that, because people believe everything you say, even though it's a lie. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how. I think Trump's going to win. I'd like to think he won't, but I think he's going to win. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he does. Because there are way too many conservative, racist people who actively vote, and too many people that are like, what's the word? Apathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the word? Like, they don't do anything.
No.
They won't vote even though they don't necessarily agree with Trump. And like, it's interesting. And I know Biden, everyone in South Africa is like voting for Biden or like rooting for him, just because Biden directly said, quote unquote, like he will invest in South Africa if he wins.
But not just that, also a lot of people are voting for certain policies. So they're not necessarily like, oh, I want to vote for Trump, or they're like, I'm pro-life, so I'm going to vote for the person who says pro-life is important, which is Trump in this regard, you know? And people who are like, I'm pro this, will vote for that because that's their beliefs and that's what they want to see in their country. And so it's yes, it is Republic against Democrats, but then it's also Biden against Trump, but then it's also policy against policy. So you kind of like, what do you actually want to see your country, you know, invest their time and money in? But at the same time, a lot of people don't realize that it's not like any other country. Your investment is not just for your country. It impacts other countries as well.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot. It's too much brain work for me to directly think about right now.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll see. We'll see who wins.
If this podcast goes out, you will know the results.
Yeah.
Or the pending results. You should know it. So let us know what the results are. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I think. Have you ever heard of something called decision fatigue? I definitely have that. Like, people must just tell me what to do at this point. Like, I'm not even going to argue with people anymore. Like, I got emails like, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? I'm just like, just tell me what to do. I'll do it. I don't want to think about it. Just tell me what to do. Like, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Insane. And then also, I have in my notes, I don't know, I wrote shells. Oh, shells, like seashells, right? I went to the beach the other evening with a friend, and we were just walking on the beach, and she like stopped and she like picked up shells that she saw, And it's something that I forgot exists. Like, I know that sounds dumb, but how you don't see shells on the beach anymore unless they're like mussels. You don't see pretty shells anymore. And I know, like, even in like St. Helena, when we were there, it's just sand on the beach. So in my brain, somehow.
You gotta go to specific. There are shells, but you gotta go to a specific.
Of course, there's shells. I don't feel like they are as common because I used to like collect a jar of shells, kind of a thing.
It's your fault why there isn't any more shells left.
No. And like I used to like collect them and then like hot glue them onto like picture frames and then like a picture frame out of shells.
It's you and all the other South Africans who were doing that. That's why there's no shells left.
Yeah, whatever. Sure, blame us, even though it was like locked down for like 6 months. No one's actually fetching shells, you know. So that's something I forgot exists.
But how do shells get on the beach?
They're animals.
Oh.
There's animals that live in the shell, like a snail in a shell.
Yeah.
Then the sweet part of the snail dies or whatever. And the shell's
left over. Okay.
Reza, come on.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's what I said. Okay, and then this week, do you see anything on the internet this week before we jump into that topic or not? I feel like this video is going to be very short because I don't have a lot to say on this topic, but I feel like you would. So before we go into that, you can just check if you saw anything on the internet. I didn't. A lot of thing on the internet at the moment is the elections, so that's why I brought that up.
That is very true. That is the only thing.
Your weekend, I know you're with your family and stuff, which kind of like ties in kind of into this like week's topic. So this week's topic I want to talk about is your travel aesthetic and like travel photography. Like how do we mesh it to? Do we think about it when we go travel, etc., etc.? We'll talk more about that. But I know also like this weekend you were at your cousin's house and we talk about makeup and like how makeup is a massive part of like your life in your day-to-day life, and it's a massive part of my life in my like creative life. So like I only wear makeup if I'm doing like a hectic look kind of a thing, or like me trying like it's one of my creative outlets. So in terms of like travel aesthetic, do you have a different aesthetic for every place you go to? Like do you envision it before the time, or do you just kind of go with it? Like want to talk us through that process?
I have to say that I am a completely different person when I'm on holiday. I transform myself. I am the best version of myself. I am the main character in this movie when I'm on holiday. Before I go on holiday, I do think about, like I obviously do a lot of research on where we're going to go, what the place looks like. Is it summer? Is it winter? What do people usually wear? I watch a lot of YouTube videos. And I try to curate my outfits or choose my outfits accordingly. So if I know that we're going to a beachy vibe area, then I like to choose outfits that will look nice at the beach, or, you know, choose colors that will, what's the word?
Pop.
They will pop, yes, or they will just make, you know, that won't necessarily pop, but will go flow with the beach area or whatever the case may be. If I know I'm going on a mission, then I know that I have to be comfortable. I need to pack clothes that, you know, can last 2-3 days without washing. And when I think of when I'm going somewhere, makeup does play a big part in like how I feel, because I wake up, I choose my outfit, I'm like, this is what I'm going to wear today, and I really spend time doing my makeup, because you're in a new place, people don't know you, they literally see you and they make a judgment on you, a quick judgment, and I don't know, makeup makes me feel confident, and it makes me feel like I'm on holiday, it makes me feel like I'm like ready for the day, and a lot of highlighter, a lot of blush, I wear lipstick, and I don't know, yeah, that's my aesthetic. I really transform, and I'm like, I'm on holiday, like I want to feel like I'm on holiday.
But the thing is, you just said that people make like a snap judgment of you, like if you're in a different country, if you look good, if you don't. But can't you argue that that exact same thing happens here? You don't know everyone in Cape Town, and everyone's making a judgment call.
100%. But I feel like Cape Town, we're at home, you know, so I'm like, whatever. I don't know how to explain it. And that's the thing that I kind of want to talk about as well, is that when I'm not going to say we, but when I'm in Cape Town, when I go out here, or I go on an adventure here, I don't put as much, I put effort into what I'm wearing, how I look. But there's a different type of effort I put in when I'm overseas. Like I don't know how to explain it.
No, I know.
It's almost like I put on a new persona, a new confidence, because I feel like you need to almost be like, I'm not from here. You know, you want to meet me type vibe. Out the ways when I'm in Cape Town, I'm like, don't bother me, don't talk to me. I want to do my own thing. Even when I'm like on an adventure, I'm like, don't talk to me, don't bother me. But when I'm on an adventure on a holiday, I'm like, come talk to me, let's make friends. Are you like that as well? Do you feel that shift? And why do you think?
Sorry, nearly 3 years. So basically, like, I think it's very different when it comes to me. I'm all about that comfort life, you know, like literally I don't care too much about how I look. I do still like care. I'm like, in terms of like the basics, like I'll always be clean. I'll always be like decent, appropriately dressed and stuff like that. But I'm all about the comfort, because the thing is, I'm the type of person that never knows when to go home, kind of a thing. So like one adventure in another country can lead to another adventure, can lead to another adventure. And I need to make sure that I am dressed appropriately for all of these things, in terms of the weather, in terms of not the weather. But I would like to, like, before I travel and stuff, I would like to like kind of roughly have an idea of what I want to do and like what it's going to look like. So like my next trip that I really want to go on is Turkey. Really want to go to Turkey. Love Turkey. Now Turkey is known for like their textiles, and it's like busy and like it's intricate designs, and like it's like reflected in their buildings, in their souks, in their, it's not called a souk, it's like a grand bazaar. It's like reflected in the mosque, a lot of mosque vibes. So like first of all, if it's a mosque vibe, I know I have to be like respectful and like not wear open stuff and all of that stuff. But also because the place is so busy, I need to wear plain clothes so that we don't clash. So like that's the kind of like general feeling and vibe I go with in terms of like my personal aesthetic. And I find makeup quite interesting. Like, I know New Year's Eve 2018, I know I was crying on the floor because I couldn't get my makeup right, and I tried 3 times and it just wasn't what I wasn't envisioning anything, but I just wasn't wowed. I want to look in the mirror and go, damn girl, and like that wasn't happening. It was atrocious. We were on a time crunch. Midnight was coming and I looked like trash, and it honestly ruined my night. Like I was miserable. I was upset. But saying that, like, I do like experimenting because people obviously like don't know us. I want to look good. I now take photos, you know, like I want to look amazing. But one of my favorite photos that I've taken on traveling, whatever, actually a few of my favorite photos, I have no to minimum makeup on. So like my profile picture, for example, on Facebook, I'm in front of the Eiffel Tower going, oh my goodness, look at this. And I have no makeup on my face. Like I literally remember us like booking that Uber super last minute, me just like swiping on a blush and was out the door. Like I had no foundation on, and foundation is like the foundation. It's like the minimum you can have on is foundation for me. And I didn't even have foundation on or anything. And it's one of my favorite photos of myself on travels. And then another photo that I really love is us in Zanzibar on Nakupenda beach. And again, you're on the beach, you're not wearing makeup, I'm wet, I'm in the ocean. Like, so I find it very like interesting that I do place so much value on makeup and how I look and whatever, but then my favorite memories doesn't necessarily include that. So interesting.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, and in terms like, because I'm talking about photos, in terms of photographs, do you like frame photographs in your brain, like what you kind of want based on other people's photos, or like how do you take photos when you do go? Because you take a lot of photos when you go overseas or whatever.
I take tons of photos. I definitely, because I'm reading blogs and I'm watching people's Instagrams and I've like things saved on my Instagram and on my Pinterest, there's definitely photo ops that I've seen and like places where I want to stand or where I want to take that similar photo. But I've also realized that if I go to a place and I try to recreate that specific photo, it never works or it just doesn't look the same. And then that frustrates me. So I end up not liking that photos as much as my other photos where I've just randomly took it in the moment that I feel is special. And I think I've also realized that like I take a lot of photos of people, like I like people being in my photos, but then when I look back at like my memories, I'm like, oh, I should have taken more photos of buildings and more photos of like restaurants where we ate at or like what we ate. Like I used to take a lot of photos of like food, like what we were eating and food, and I don't really take those type of photos anymore, but I enjoy looking back at those photos a lot. One of my favorite photos that I took in Baku is actually a photo of like you and my brother, or my brother, just like you're in the photo, but a lot of the photo is actually the
ice.
No,
So.
it's the area before we went out to go buy like souvenirs and stuff, and we were just walking around.
And I'm just like standing there.
And you're just standing there, like you're not even aware that I'm taking a photo, but you're present in the photo. But then you can see Baku as well, and I love that a lot. So I'm realizing that yes, finding inspiration beforehand is so cool. It's good. But taking my own photos and finding places that I enjoy is much better than trying to be like, okay, I want this specific photo in front of the Eiffel Tower. Because then you go to the Eiffel Tower and you don't get that specific photo, and then you feel frustrated instead of just going to the Eiffel Tower and making your own photo opportunity and then liking that moment for yourself. Like you said, sometimes it's some of my favorite photos are the random photos I took, or the selfies that I randomly took, or, you know, a photo that isn't great, but I can remember like what we were doing. Like there's some photos of us in the Cube House in Rotterdam, and we're standing in front of the mirror, and they're not cute photos because there's always one of us, there's always one of us has like either a silly face or we're not looking or whatever. But I love those photos because we were on our way to go out for the first time and we're so hyped, so excited. And so sometimes it's not about the perfect picture. Sometimes it's just about the moment. And that's what I enjoy about photography a lot. And I do take a lot of photos. I don't print them though. When I come home, I do post all my photos on Facebook and then gradually post them on Instagram. And I have all my photos saved on my iPhone. I never delete them until I like need space, but I very rarely delete traveling photos just because that's the only memories you've got left except for the ones in your head. So, and I've also realized that as years go by, I can't necessarily remember every detail of like our Abu Dhabi trip or every detail of our Madagascar trip. Like it's starting to fade as I'm growing older and as I'm going to new places and discovering other things. And I like day-to-day life is also like, memories things are happening and those are also forming memories. But it's so nice to go on like Facebook or even on my photos on my laptop and go back to when we were in Mada or go back to when we were in Abu Dhabi. Like go through those photos, like the memories instantly come back. And that's my favorite part about photos. How about you? Do you take lots of photos? What do you take photos of?
So there's so many things I want to touch on, but I don't want to like disturb your like train of thought. And I feel like you're doing very well in terms of like speaking one at a time in this podcast. Just before I forget, if you want to also see some of our photos, we do have an Instagram called SimilarlyOpposites. That's the birthplace of this podcast. So you can go check it out over there. We're really slacking on updating and stuff. But there's quite a few nice snippets like this local adventures as well as international adventures, and it's kind of cool, it's cute. We love it. I stand. We started in 2015, so like at the start of our first adventure. And then if you look in some of our highlights, you can actually see us actually being there at a place. But I'm telling you, like running all these Instagram accounts is honestly so like exhausting. Like I'm starting to run a new one next week, and I'm like, so many. But I want to say like, so what's different to you and I, like whatever, is that you like photos of buildings, and now I always take photos of the buildings, but I hate them because the chances are a professional photographer, a few, have taken that same photo. They put it on Google, it's a Google search away, and that can be your photo of it. What I like is people, again, also like the same, like you, like me in a photo, you in a photo, people I know in the photo, because those are the photos that's most likely going to get printed. Because I don't want a postcard type of photo of a building if I'm not present in there to show it. And photography is not my primary concern in terms of like digital imaging when I travel, because I do vlog everything. So I try to vlog as much as I can, so video record everything, and then photos are like a secondary to that, because when our memories fade and when we forget about these things, I don't flip through photos. I go back to my own YouTube channel and I go watch my old vlogs, because then you can like get the sense of where we were at. Because I'm super honest, I'm unfiltered as always on my vlogs and stuff, like even more so. Like I'll take you from the moment I open my eyes, I'm kind of there with you till the moment I go sleep again. And even if you can't see me in the evenings, I still record my voice and I'm like, hey guys, we're really tired right now. So today was a great day. Thanks for watching. But I literally try to take you through my day in like a 10-minute snippet that I upload on YouTube. And like, I really value and treasure those memories. So photography is not really a thing for me, but I also do like a good photo, because we all like an Instagram moment. So I do have those. But then again, my favorite photos are the ones where you can like see true emotion of you being in that place. So it doesn't necessarily be the prettiest thing, but it will reflect a lot of things like emotionally for you. And I like really love that and like value that a lot. So yeah, that's where I am in terms of that. That's the topics I brought today. It's just like travel, aesthetic, and photography. I don't know if you want to chat anything else or respond.
Yeah, I just want to respond to what you just said lastly about the photo doesn't have to be perfect, but the memory is there. There's a photo that I have of you and my brother like hugging each other, but you're canning yourself, like you're laughing, and you're at a famous monument or like area in Baku, and you guys have just spoken about these nuts, and you guys are laughing, but you're hugging each other while you're. And I have that photo, and I mean, other people will be like, "What? Like it doesn't make sense." But if you just, it's a good.
I mean, it's then we still laugh at it. So
exactly. So, and there's another photo also in Baku. I think in Baku we took a lot of photos that captured the moment. In the sense
it was our first trip
alone, single trips without our parents,
but also as a holiday.
Yes,
because the one is as a mission.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and so even a photo of us on top of the tower in Baku, not the Maiden Tower, the one where we had to like climb up these like tiny
the castle.
Castle, yeah. And there's a photo where I'm like I'm deadly afraid that we're gonna fall off this castle. And you took that photo, you captured that photo so beautifully, and like such a good timing where I'm like literally I look freaked out that I'm on top of this castle.
Love it.
And there's just so many moments like that, and I don't know if it's, I know like you mentioned it was our first holiday, trip, but I also feel like after that I've started, like I don't know if it's my mindset or what it is, but I'm afraid to take out my phone sometimes to capture that moment, to capture us doing something or in the moment, because I'm like, what if I take my phone out and I want to take this photo? It like breaks up the moment in a sense, because I feel like if I had taken there were so many moments in like Tanzania, like even in the village, where I mentally took photos because I couldn't go and get up from the dinner table and take a photo of Baba like giving us ugali on like heaps. But it would have been such a cool photo, you know, and we don't have a photo next to their house or of us spending time. We do have some, but I mean, we don't have as many. And I think also like you mentioned, with having Instagram and the vlog, and like you want to take regular photos, like it's a lot to add up, because you have to decide, am I going to be in the moment, or am I going to be, because I don't think that you're not in the moment if you're on your phone. Like, I don't think that. My thing is always, am I going to be in the moment 100%, or am I going to be in the moment and take a photo? Or am I going to be in the moment, take a photo and take an Instagram story? Or am I going to be in the moment, take a photo, take an Instagram story, and vlog this, you know? And then it's like you're juggling it all, because you want to take photos of the place, but you also want to take people along you, because I love Instagram stories. I love watching people's Instagram stories. And then also having to, you know, so at the end of the day, you have to decide, like, what are you willing to share immediately? What do you think it's even important sharing? And I mean, that's different for all of us. Like, for me, I feel like I choose which one I want to do. And like you said, your vlogs are the most important thing, which is also good. Like, I think it's good. And I also think, and this is something that I've said since our first holiday back in 2015, we need to put money together and book a photographer to follow us around, because there's so many opportunities where we are having such a ball. And I just think if someone was just taking a sneaky photo of us right now, it would be such a nice photo. But then again, you also, in many senses, if you get everything on a photo, then it might like dim down the memories in your head and your heart. So it's a juggle. Like, it's definitely
like a time and a place, though. Like, there's a time and a place to take these things. Like, for me, is like my phone has then become an extension of my existence when I'm on holiday, but it's not to the detriment of my relationships with the people with me. So obviously, like, I knew I can't film everything in Mama and Baba's house, because it's like ruins their privacy, and the concept of vlogging is foreign to them. So I knew I can't have my phone out always, but when I could, my phone was kind of on like a rolling recording kind of a situation, where I wasn't trying too hard to frame things romantically and beautifully and well said. I want these memories to be as raw as they are, because I think that's an open like depiction of who we would do, like who we were with and what we were doing. And like I think also what's vital is that we had this conversation, I don't know for what trip it was, but before trip we were like, so what's your main goal here? Do you want to like vlog, do you want to film, do you want to take photos? Like, what's your main objective in terms of memory keeping? Because you're probably never going to return to this place again. And I said mine is vlogging, and you said yours is Instagram. And I said cool, because vlogging and Instagram, like, you will always be able to access my videos on the internet, and I will always be able to access your photos on the internet. And at the same time, like, you can't even do that dually, like at the same time, because they're taken in different formats, and they like taken also with a different mindset behind them. So like your Instagram stories and stuff would be like more polished or more storytelling, so like you're the focus of it. Whereas vlogs is kind of like from my viewpoint, and I don't necessarily talk as much in all of them. Sometimes you need more explanations than others. And I think like if you can stick to just like one, so obviously your primary thing ever should be to be in the moment, experience the moment, love the moment, and love the people you're with. But then if you want to take a memory thing, I think you must only have one other media type that you want to do, because there's so many times, and I told you this the other day, there's so many people I would have loved to capture, and moments I would have loved to capture on like camera, and like, you know, so I can always have that. But some people, like, you'd never even, no one would have known you met, because there is no evidence that you met and you spent time together, even if they were a big part of your journey, like your personal journey, your traveling journey, whatever. And I think that's where I'm kind of like, I kind of regret not having my phone out all the time, for whatever reason. But then if I did have my phone, would it have been the same? I don't know. Very confusing situation. And I think it's important to also like suss it out.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
saying?
And for me, I always, when I'm in the moment, when we're on a holiday taking photo, I'm like, yo, I've taken so many photos. Like, this is too many photos. But as soon as I come home, I'm like, you took 2 photos. 2.
Yeah.
2 photos. And like you said, there's a few people that I've met over the years that I have nothing to remind me of that person. I have nothing to show for that person. And in many ways, I think it's sometimes a good thing. But sometimes, like, it's bittersweet. Like, you want to take, like, if you had a really good conversation with someone, you wish that you'd taken a photo, or that you got their numbers, or that you got their Facebook so you could keep connections. And there's so many people we've met that have been really great people, but we don't have the connection stop the moment, like, we went home, or the moment life went on, and that's okay. Like, and it's, again, goes back to the fact that not everyone you meet is there forever. Some people you just meet to meet. But I feel like even I would have wanted to take more photos, even in the Azerbaijani grocery store, because we made memories with those people. How cool would it have been to have photos? Like, I can clearly, like, if you needed me to, I could explain to you exactly where everything was, how you walk in, and all that stuff. But I mean, imagine having like a digital photo, or just having even taking a video of us going to the grocery store would have been so cool. Like, I think there's one clip, even probably in your vlog, where I'm like sitting outside and you walk past and you're like, look, she's sitting outside, what's she doing? And it's just like,
seriously?
Yeah, it makes me bittersweet.
But even like, I'm not even talking about like adventure memories. Like, I'm talking about even with your friends now. Yeah, like, there's some friends that you will probably never see again. There's some friends you'll never have the connection, but for that time period, you guys were close and you made it like friends, because some friends are for a season and a reason and a lifetime kind of a thing. But like, I'm gonna bring up a topic, I don't know, whatever. So like, for example, like Sakeenah and I, close, besties, love that. I think I have like one clip of her on my vlogs, because I did those monthly vlogs. I had one clip of her, and then her voice is in the background of it because she doesn't like to be filmed. And like, okay, cool, I respect that you don't like to be filmed, but like, I'll never be able to recreate that. And like, nobody would know how often we saw each other, hung out and stuff like that, because there's no evidence. And I feel like a lot of people are like, photos of what didn't happen, and that's a culture we created. So like, even if I went to Justin Bieber's concert or whatever with the people that I've met, I know people now that I met randomly at the concert, and like, I still see them, speak to them, Instagram them. And everyone's like, where did you meet? And we're like, because they thought we met at Varsity, and I'm like, no, we actually went to Justin Bieber's concert, and I have no photos from the actual concert.
Yeah,
which is bizarre, and it's such like a monumental moment in my life. It's Justin Bieber's concert. Love him. So weird. Think like, you shouldn't only, also like, we shouldn't, I guess, I don't know, only apply that like digital footprint thing to international trips. Like, even if you're vlogging, even if the vlogs are not going anywhere, like, record it for yourself. My friend does it a lot. She's like, oh no, I made this vlog and I edited it, but she hasn't posted it anywhere. It's for her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so cute. Like, imagine like homemade movies. Love the concept.
It's a good thing and it's a good thing to remember, yeah, because like you said, we do take our day-to-day lives for granted, in a sense that we stop appreciating things that happen to us in the day-to-day lives. I mean, today I had to write a Thanksgiving letter, which basically the minister and I write. We write our own, where we look back at the year and we just say like how the year has been, and where God was present in our year. And it was so therapeutic, you know, to look back at the year. And you know, the way I formatted it was like, I started off by saying I know exactly where I was when the clock struck 12 on the 1st of January 2020. And then I said, like, we were in the Champs-Élysées in front of the Arc, and there was fireworks going off, and there was more than, because I googled, there was more than 400,000 people around that area.
1,000 in that road.
Around that area. And I wrote, like, I remember I can clearly see people smiling and laughing, and you know, the joy and excitement, and everyone shouting 2020, it's my year, you know, things like that. And then I said, what a year it's been. But when I look back at the year, the first thing that really pops up is my life during lockdown. All I can think about is how many times I cried, how many times I was like sleepless nights, difficult moments, not being able to see friends and family, like all the bad, you know, all the not so nice things that we had to go through, like finding out, you know, that some people got sick, and finding some people passed away, you know, wearing the mask, like all that stuff. And I said, but when I really sit back and I look back at the year, there were a lot of really good moments. Like, I got to spend time with my brother. I got to, you know, I discovered Korean dramas, which is my favorite thing at the moment. I discovered, you know, I did Couch to 5K. I spent more time doing things that I liked. I enjoyed working from home, and all the numerous Zoom meetings that I attended. And, you know, we seldom think about the good, but there was always good, you know, in the year and stuff. And so I think it's a reminder that in our day-to-day lives, it's so good for us to capture every moment if we want to, you know, and or at least capture it in our head so we can remember it. So when we do look back, we have something to look back on. That makes sense.
Because, like, the thing is, like, often people, like, my favorite thing to watch on the internet is people's day-to-day lives. And I don't know why we think their day-to-day lives are, like, so entertaining, and ours are not. But also, like, I saw this Facebook thing I shared, I think. It was, like, everyone looks at 2020 in a negative light, but, like, it gave us a chance to slow down from our busy life. Because we know we'd be busy. Like, we're busy people. Even in the meeting yesterday, they were like, I know there's some busy people on this meeting, so we need to schedule another one. And I'm like, yeah, that's us. But, like, it gave us a time to actually, like, reevaluate and reflect on, like, where we are, where we're going, and all that stuff. Like, some of our jobs became harder and, like, restructured because both of us rely a lot on, like, human connection. And that was, like, stripped from us for 6 months. And so today, actually, which is so funny and weird, like, so today I was literally taking selfies with my kids because I said, normally I would have so much time to, like, build memories and take photos when we could. Like, now we just have to take photos in the classroom instead of, like, on an outing or, like, on an adventure or on a coffee date or something like that. So we're literally just taking selfies in class, and I have a photo of them from the first term, from, like, February. And I said I need an end of the year photo because you guys have grown so much, like, personally, actually, like, physically grown. And I need a photo because the thing is, they don't know, but I'm gonna, like, make, like, a collage of, like, then and now, and, like, how much you've grown this year, and, like, write them, like, a farewell letter because I'm, like, super sentimental. That, like, next week is, like, the last time I'm teaching them ever. So it's kind of, like, emotional, like, low-key emotional. So I needed, like, a photo of that and to reflect it. And, like, now I, like, talking to you, like, I'm realizing, like, how important for me photos are, because I used to take, like, random photos of the class they didn't even know, but, like, they would do group work and I took, like, a sneaky photo or whatever. So yeah, I think, like, we should take photos of the ordinary, because sometimes the ordinary isn't as boring as we think it is. Like, it forms part of our crux and of who we are, what we do from our day-to-day, like what we do when no one's watching kind of situation. And I really enjoy that. So it's something to reflect upon this week. And I don't know if I have anything last things to add.
No, just take more photos, and if you think you took too many, take some more, because you'll never have too many photos of a moment.
I really like this conversation, actually.
It was a good one.
Time to reflect for ourselves, and plan the future, knowing what we know now. And there's some adventures coming up for one of us. So we'll take photos and stuff like that, and we'll take photos of the mundane as well as the extraordinary. And I hope you guys do as well, and share them on your platforms and be proud of them. And like, some people have their reservations about sharing too much things. Like, that's why we're on Instagram breaks and WhatsApp breaks. But I think like it's so important to then just keep it to yourself and just have that moment or treasure something as it's happening, instead of like looking back at it with like fond memories. And that's it for this week. And we had like quite a deep conversation. If you did enjoy this like random reflection and meditation, I think, therapy session, please let us know as well what your thoughts are about all of the things we discussed. And I look forward to seeing that. And also, thanks for having this conversation with me, Reza. It was great. We never thank each other, but I'm thanking you. It's been great. And we shall see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, love you guys so much. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.